Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Dr. Sharita Weatherspoon of Spoon Fed Motivation LLC. I am here this morning with the soon to be Dr. Marilyn Pendleton, who is the founder and CEO of Your Voice Heard. We are here this morning to talk a bit about what she does and who she is and her role in the Love Letters to My Girls anthology. She is one of the phenomenal women who will be participating with us as a contributing author. I'm just so excited about having her join us on this mission. I'm hoping that something that you hear today will motivate you and inspire you as a Black woman or a young girl to join us as a contributing author. Or to support us in some way in getting this message out into the world, into the hands of Black women and girls across the world. So thank you, Marilyn, for joining us today. I really appreciate you being a part of the project and taking time this morning to talk with me and to share with our audience. How are you
Oh,
doing?
thank you for having me. It's great.
Great, great, great. So first, I want to ask you to just, tell us who you are, what you're all about, and the work that you do in your company.
Wow. Well, first and foremost, my vision is global, and it's very important that to know that what separates us is geographical regions. But at the end of the day, we all have a desire to contribute to the world, but how we do it looks different ways.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. My company, Your Voice Heard, um, I founded it in 2009, and it was a result of I was a school nurse in an elementary school in Kensington, discovered that children had various losses that impacted their academic achievement
Mhm.
more than trauma. And when I did self reflection, I discovered I had my own losses that were negatively impacting my life and movement in my life and my personal growth as an individual. I attended a grief recovery class. It was led by grief recovery specialists, and a big shout out to my spiritual parents, Reverend Herbert Jackson and Sister Lizzie Mae Jackson,
Mhm.
because I was introduced to the grief recovery method from them. And my life just transformed tremendously and discovered what was inside of me. I was invited, I will tell you, I was invited to two doctoral programs in the past. Once when I first got out of college, and once again when I finished my master's. I would
Mhm.
not had to pay for those courses, but my own personal self-worth and ability, um, and grief that was holding me bondage would not allow me to move forward.
Mhm.
Once I had my healing as a grief recovery method through the grief recovery method and became certified, the trajectory of my life has gone in places that I have never imagined. I've been to Zambia, to Jordan, most recently presented in Malaysia. So my desire, and from my doctoral work, is to leverage data with compassion, understanding that everything is guided by big data, by numbers, but there is a story, there is a humanity behind that, and we need to look at that not um, just as numbers and profit, and but we need to look at the emotional being and how they present to help them change their lives and to be forces to change the world.
That's really good. So, I like how you talked about how loss can actually keep you from making progress in your life. And I think specifically within the Black community, you know, there's still, as much as we're talking about it, there still is stigma about getting you know, therapy and counseling, and the whole idea of taking care of your mental health. um, and that includes, you know, grief that comes
Mm-hmm.
with having some sort of a loss. And that loss, obviously it could be someone you care about dying, but it could be a divorce, you know, some sort of, you know, separation in a relationship. Um, I would say that even, you know, things like, you know, making a major move in your
Mm-hmm.
life and kind of leaving this life to go start a new life can bring
Yeah.
about grief as well, in a sense of
Mm-hmm.
loss there. And I think it's something that, you know, we as a community typically don't talk about. And sometimes we, you know, we kind of give people a time period for their grief.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
6 months later, you should be moving on by now. Or, you know, you might have someone who says, like, if it appears that you are moving on, where, you know, you're moving too fast, like other people are determining for us how long our grief should last, or even what our grief should look like. And we're
Mm-hmm.
often not allowed the appropriate space and time, and we don't have the support to help us work through whatever the loss is, whatever the
Mm-hmm.
grief that we're feeling, and not recognizing the impact that that is now having on every other area of our lives. I think the work that you're doing is phenomenal. And I like part of the last thing that you said about, you know, everything is driven by data. You know,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
we've got that. But we do lose sight of the humanity that exists behind the numbers. And I
Yes.
think even with, you know, we look at the reason for this book, The Love Letters to My Girls, a lot of the issues that we deal with is because people have looked at statistics and they believe the statistics. And not to say that there's not fact that exists in the
Yeah.
statistics, but facts
Mm-hmm.
and truth are often not the same thing.
And
And
it's
the
also
truth behind the
multiple.
facts is that there
Mm-hmm.
are people with stories
Yes.
that help to
Definitely.
explain the statistics, but we don't want to look at the story and the people. We just want to look at the numbers and
Yep.
determine, make determinations about groups of people based on historical data,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
not on the humanity that exists behind that data, and not making decisions around the impact of, you know, how the decisions you make are going to impact the people behind the data. So all of that was really
Oh,
good.
and you know what? And our knowledge, attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors, those are established early on in life, before we reach adulthood.
Mhm.
And I just got finished this course, Cross Cultural Perspectives in School Leadership. This researcher, Hasti, from Germany, talks about the six. There are six areas to your national identity, or how you navigate through the world. And those knowledge, attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors are established in our earlier years, and they don't shift very much when we reach adulthood.
Mhm.
And when you speak about the stigma and with emotional health and mental wellness, particularly in the Black community and with Black women, it is this one particular stereotype that very much annoys me, is the strong Black woman.
Mhm. Right.
There is nothing wrong with being competent
Mhm.
and confident in what you do. That I say I am. However, I do not want to carry the world on my shoulders.
Mhm. Right.
And it doesn't mean, and what is communicated generation through generation is that we have to be all, to be the be all, and self-sacrifice.
Mhm.
And an empty vessel has nothing to pour into anyone else.
Mhm.
So if we are as individuals, if we're spent, we have nothing to give. And we don't have anything to give as far as a healthy perspective. And the purpose, I just want to thank Angelita Bird. Shout out to my girl. Thank you. I met her in Ireland last year. And really, for us to share with in love with other young women and maybe not so young, that we do not have to be the be all to do self-care physically, intellectually, emotionally, and socially. We have to care for ourselves to care and love for others, but it starts with self-love, knowing that we are the prize.
Right.
This is what I used to tell my my high school students. I was a mentor as well in the organization, and I said, "After me, girls, do this. I am the prize." And they would say,
Right.
"I am the prize." So you
Yes.
must recognize your wealth, your value,
Mhm.
and if you're on that trajectory, if you can do that, then you can do something. You have to be able to be whole, really be whole to do something and make a change.
Hmm. That's good. And I think that, you know, everything that you just said directly relates to what we're trying to accomplish with Love Letters to My Girls anthology, and helping our sisters to recognize that they don't have to be superwoman.
Hmm.
I said, I think in my last interview with another author, that Superwoman is a fictional character. And we should not be striving
So true. So
to be like
true.
someone who doesn't exist, right? Who can't exist, right? It's not real. You know, Superwoman is dead. Burn the cape, save the shoes. But you know, our goal is to help Black women, regardless of age, you know, their circumstances, where they live, you know, beliefs, education, all of that, to recognize how powerful they are. And that's not about being able to carry the weight of the world on your back. It really isn't.
Hmm.
It's really about recognizing your value and your worth, um, and holding other people accountable to recognize it as well. To stand in your power, your unique abilities, the things that you're great at, your competence, your skill sets, your knowledge, your expertise, your ability to love and be loved,
Hmm.
and do whatever it is that you were brought into this world to do, that you were called to do, to impact the world,
Yes.
because each of us was in our own way. And I'm not going to say own little way, because
All
any
right.
impact you make has a ripple effect. So you might only see it with one person, but it actually is having a greater impact than that one person, because that one person is now going to be able to impact someone in another way that they weren't able to had they not come in contact with you and engaged with you. And we want to, I think once we recognize our power and our value and our worth, that in fact makes us stronger, and it puts us in a position to then make decisions for our good and for our
Hmm.
betterment rather than to our detriment. You know, so for that woman who is, you know, trying to make a decision between staying in a work situation that's unhealthy and starting a business, we may be able to empower, motivate her to make that
Shucks,
decision.
that must have been me.
For that woman who is in an abusive relationship, we may be able to empower her, you know, to make the decision to leave for good this time. You know, for
Hmm.
that woman who is um thinking about taking her life because she just can't see a way out of her situation, we want to be able to encourage her to stay here, that you deserve to live and you deserve to be happy. And, even if it's a day by day thing that, reading one of these love letters encourages her to give life another try at least one more day. And we do that every day that she's reading a letter.
Mhm.
I think that we can underestimate the value that words can have and the
Yeah.
power that words can have. But because I recognize that, and I recognize the accessibility of a book,
Mhm.
to get into people's hands, it's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this project and do it in book form, because I feel that we would have the ability to reach so many more women than we would by doing a live event, by offering a coaching program, which all of those things are great. That's what I do in my business, but I can't touch everybody. Like there's only so many people I can personally touch, right? And I could have written the 100 letters by myself, but I have my story, my experience. You have your story, your experience, which is very different from mine. And there are some people who your words are going to be able to touch that mine may not be able to touch, because there's some relatability that's missing. Now, maybe 5 years later, my words might have a greater impact because of where they are at that point in their lives.
Right.
So it was important for me to bring in this diverse group of women to write these letters so we can speak to a diverse group of women.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So, so you're a part of this project. And you're writing a love letter. So
Yes,
tell us
I
what you're going to
am.
be writing about.
I am going to write to do, stand up and make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
When you speak about leaving your job, and I'm very transparent about this. There is information on my Facebook page, and when we're talking about writing information to
Mm-hmm.
communicate to other people, I do write occasionally on Facebook, and when you see something that says transparent in capital letters, that's part of my story,
Mm-hmm.
that I really want to impress upon people and share. Most importantly, when I share that information, it's for a lot of my kids, that they follow me, they watch my page, but there are other people, adults that read my page. They'll text me or inbox me, and I want them to know that they have the power to do. It's in them to achieve, to live their best life. And I walked away from, and it's not been an easy journey.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people look and see what you're doing on Facebook. It's like, oh, life is so great. Nah, it's hard work trying to be part of the less than 2%. Grow your business and
Right.
work another job. And people ask how do I do all of that? I do try to get my rest, but it's at a great sacrifice for
Mm-hmm.
other things. And my goal is to stand up and to make a difference. I walked away from a regular job, a regular paycheck,
Mm-hmm.
to make a difference, because clearly I knew what emotional and mental health, uh, how it impacted uh, the development of children, how it impacted their academic achievement, but most importantly, how it impacted the workplace and the climate. As a leader, I am structuring my company so that it is, of course, with Grief Recovery Method, it is what they call emotional intelligence. It's more than emotional intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
but also culturally, for cultural competence as well. And there's a song by Matthew West, and it's called Do Something. And I'm going to just read a couple of lyrics from this. It says, I woke up this morning and shook my fist at heaven. Why won't you do something? And he said, I did. I created you. And if not us, then who? It's time for us to do something. And this is why I'm so passionate about this project. This is
Mhm.
why I walked away from my job, because it is time to do something, that there should no longer be stigma. People
Mhm.
should be able to live whole lives, and we should
Right.
be able to talk about these things openly and support our Black women, our Black girls. Even though it is a multicultural, it's a global issue,
Mhm.
but this project allows me to focus specifically on a particular demographic, and I'm grateful for that.
Mhm.
And I say my kids are looking at me. Those who I mentor are watching me.
Right.
That is very important in the work that I do and what I'm communicating with them, that I walk the talk.
Mm.
And just on a sideline, if you look in the back, there's a little wee picture in the back.
Uh-huh.
And that is I love her, my niece Kayana Okendo, and she is um, in college student, and she will be working with me as an intern this summer. This is one of the things that we have to sow into our girls,
Mhm.
so that they can live their best life and contribute to the society, and then be the legacy. We are the legacy, and then they will be the legacy. So
Right.
this is so important of
Right.
a project.
Yes. Yes. So you're writing about do make a difference.
Yes.
So what will the reader take away from your letter?
Wow. They will take away that they have the power in themselves to make a difference. And as you
Mhm.
said before, you do not, it doesn't matter your educational level.
Mhm.
You don't have to be a doctor.
Right.
You do not have to be a corporate leader. Everybody has something to give to someone. They have something to offer someone in this world. And it's so important
Mhm.
that we recognize the value and the power in other individuals.
Right. Right. Great, great, great. So, for those of you who are just joining us, I'm here with Marilyn Pendleton, who is the founder and CEO of Your Voice Heard. She is a change agent and a grief recovery method specialist. And she is also one of the women who will be participating as a contributing author in the Love Letters to My Girls anthology project, where I'm bringing 100 Black women together to write letters of love to other Black women and girls. And we want to get this book into the hands of as many Black women and girls as we can across the world. This project is really more than a book. It's a movement. Yes, we are publishing the book, but we want to do more than just publish the book. So we're actually seeking to donate copies of the book to organizations and groups that serve Black women and girls across the world. So we'll be doing some crowdfunding type of activities to help support that initiative specifically. We're also going to be taking some of the profits from the launch of the book to fund at least 2 scholarships. One of those scholarships will go to a young woman 21 and under. One will go to a woman over 21. And those funds will be able to be used for education, training, or business startup. We have a couple of other things that we are planning and vetting those ideas to see if we can add a couple more things onto this project. But it really is a big vision. And because the vision is so big, we need your help. We need your
Join
help to
us.
make it happen. So, one of the ways that you can support this project is if you are a Black woman or a young Black woman, I would say maybe 14 and above, and would like to share a message of love and inspiration to other Black women and girls, I would love for you to consider participating as a contributing author. No, you don't have to be an author. You don't have to be a writer. You don't have to be a good writer. You just need to have a valuable and powerful message to share. Our professional editors will make sure your letter looks good, so you don't have to worry about that. So you just, you obviously you want to be a Black woman who loves and supports and cares for other Black women, because this is about uplift and cooperation and collaboration, not competition. Okay. So if you feel like there's something that you want to share based on lessons that you learned from your own experiences, or, just words that you want to speak to someone that you wish would have been spoken to you at certain stages in your life, this is a wonderful opportunity to do that. And you can learn more details about how to become a contributing author by visiting smpl.ro/love letters. And I will make sure that that is in the description so that you can find that. And if anyone who's watching live can type that URL into the comments for me, that would be great. It's smpl.ro/love letters. Now, additionally, if the writing thing just is not your thing, or you're not a Black woman, but you still want to support our mission, which we hope you do, you can sign up to stay up to date with the project at loveletterstomygirls.com. We will be sharing details on our crowdfunding activities. We'll be soliciting feedback about our book cover design, our t-shirt design, and some other things that we're doing as well. Certainly information on the book launch and how you can be a part of that. So just, sign up to keep updated with what we're doing, so you can stay abreast of what's doing and how you can help us in supporting really this worldwide mission to impact and engage, elevate, and empower Black women and girls across the world. So Marilyn, what would you say to our other viewers who are Black women about participating in this project? I know you jumped on it, like when you heard about it, you were like, I'm
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Think about it. And you've actually I've got to shout you out for this, because you have done a great job of sharing this with other Black women. And I am so appreciative of that. I mean, like every day in the Facebook, like, I want to introduce you to this person. She'd be great. Send me emails. And I love it. I love it. But so what would you say to the Black women who are viewing this live or on the replay about participating in this project?
I would say that we're always better together. And it's always that synergy, that collaboration and togetherness, that unity that allows individuals to move and change the world. I implore my network, which, a lot of them have gotten the email, to join us, because my group is a diverse group, is a global group. And I believe that they have so much to offer. And those who have not received an email from me or Facebook, charge it to the head, not the heart. Charge it to the schoolwork. And I've slacked off on some of my communications with studies and all, but I really encourage you to join us and be the change and be the legacy.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I was just going through the comments to see, if anyone had any questions. I don't see any specific questions, but, congratulations. This is awesome. Strong Black Women Unite. Angie says, thanks for the shout out. She has your back the same way you have had hers. Let's see. Yes. So, we've gotten wonderful feedback on this project. I'm actually somewhat overwhelmed at how people have been receiving this idea. It came out of an idea that I had a number of years ago when my daughter was younger, and she's now 22. So she was just a little girl, and I had this idea that I wanted to write, this book, Love Letters to My Daughter.
Mhm.
And maybe I would invite a couple of my friends who also had daughters to participate. And it's on my list of books to write, because I have a list of books to write.
Okay.
And
For
I had
sons
not
too, I
gotten
hope.
to it, but I still plan to do it. And
Okay.
literally in November of last year, I wasn't even thinking about that project. I was focused on something else and got this divine download for Love Letters to My Girls. And I believe that, God took that. The seed was the Love Letters to My Daughters. And the reason why I had not acted on it was because it was supposed to be bigger than that. And I probably wasn't ready for that vision at that time. And when I was ready, he gave it to me, and I took immediate action. And that's a lesson right there. Catch that. I got the download and I took immediate action. Okay.
Yeah. You have
Here
to.
we are. So we are seeking 100 women, Black women, young ladies to participate as contributing authors. We are well on our way to hitting that number. We did establish a minimum number of authors necessary to move forward with the project, and we have surpassed that number. So the book is a definite go. We are moving forward, whether we hit 100 women or not, but I would really love to hit 100 women. And I know enough women in my network alone who could fill those spaces. And then when we add the other women who are now part of the project in their networks, I mean, we should be able to do 1,000 letters, really.
Oh, wow. That's
But
excellent.
right now we're just looking for 100. So, if you work with Black women in the community, in ministry, in your jobs, Black women and girls, you support Black women and girls, you care about Black women and girls, you love Black women and girls, I need you to consider participating in this project, because our sisters need us. No one else is coming to save us. No one else is going to fight for us. We've got to do it ourselves. We cannot do it alone. Yes, one person can make a difference, but when two or three.
Yep, exactly.
All
Gather
right.
together.
So we want to bring together 100 so we can literally impact the world with this message and reignite the bond of sisterhood, and just let our sisters, our mothers, our moms and aunties and friends, nieces and daughters, just that we love them. And
Yes.
we don't love them just because it's what we're supposed to do. We love them because they're lovable.
Yes. Absolutely.
You are
Absolutely.
lovable. You are wonderful. You are unique. You are powerful. You are worthy. You are valuable. You are beautiful. You are smart. You are intelligent. All of that is in you and more.
And
And
the
we want
world, and you can
to
do
know it.
anything in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We want to make sure that you know it. And if no one else is going to tell you, your sisters are going to tell you.
We are going to tell you. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So before we close out, can you just share a couple of sentences of motivation for those who are viewing, whether they're male or female? Just leave our viewers with something positive for the day.
Wow. Oh my, every day is a gift, and it just takes one step at a time. You can't achieve your goal immediately and quickly. It's a journey. And there will be setbacks at times. But at the end of the day, you stay focused on the prize, stay focused on the vision, stay focused on the dream, and stay focused on the lives that you will change.
Good, good. Thank you, Marilyn. Thank you. So I appreciate you joining me this morning for this live interview. I appreciate you joining the project. We're going to make this thing happen.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm
Yes,
thrilled.
yes. And to each of you who have joined us live or watching the replay, we thank you for your time. We're looking forward to your support in whatever way you can support us. And I just want you to remember that in your words are the power to heal, to uplift, to inspire, and to save someone else's life. So ignite the power in your words. Thank you, everyone. Have a good
Thank
day.
you.